Scientific Christian Mental Practice by Emma Curtis Hopkins. Chapter 5, The Word of Faith, Part 2. Some touch their environments first. Even the winds obey their words. Some tell coffee and tea that they cannot make them nervous, and the coffee and tea become harmless. The best way to fasten our scientific statements into our conditions is to give a reason why the scientific statements are true. Tell that in reality your body is spirit, the coffee is spirit, and therefore all it can do is to inform you of some new and sweet law of God. Some of the very first scientists gave for their reasons why material food could not hurt them, that matter could not hurt spirit. They, being spirit, the material food could not possibly affect them, and so on. The later students would not accept the way of reasoning, because it implied more than one substance. The first scientists did do beautiful healing, however, by such ideas. They would look at a man who thought his food hurt him, and mentally tell him that being spirit, nothing he could do could hurt him. Food was harmless. Then aloud they would tell him to eat his dinner without fear. The food never hurt him after that. He was utterly cured of indigestion. In their classrooms they were told that their physical bodies were nothing at all, pure unreality. Matter in every form was unreality. This is true. We are spirit. We do not need to show material bodies at all. We may show only our spiritual body, which is our true nature. We may see all things as spirit. This is our privilege now. As spirit, which is mind, we think what we please. In the absolute, we do not think anything about bodies or matter or affairs of earth. You can see that all conscious thinking about such things is no thinking at all. The affairs of earth, as they show up materially, are nothing. The conscious thought that made them is nothing. Only by so much as we realize spirit is there any substance to our thinking. Only by so much as we realize spirit are all things real. Every realization of spirit brings our bodies out from their unconscious machinery into their glorious reality and freedom. Jesus Christ could manage matter in all its forms instantaneously, but he did not teach anybody else to do so. He taught what to think that would eventually result in instantaneous demonstrations. The disciples could do everything but save themselves from persecutions. We take the conscious teachings and train ourselves till our machine-like bodies spring to as quick intelligence as consciousness itself. People were perfectly astonished when they first found that there is a great intelligence as much in the feet as in the brain. There being no material brain, no material feet, all being the Spirit of God, who is this that dares say that one part of omnipotent God is more intelligent than another? It is no mind, which is called the conscious mind. What is wrought out by thinking of material things as reality? Your bodies, of course, with their troubles and pains. But as it was no mind that thought these things, they are nothing. They must disappear. They disappear for the true conditions to show out. Even thinking the truth about numbers will change the shape of the head. The mathematician will keep thinking and thinking about numbers till he seems almost discouraged. He is so far away from his right answer. He keeps on calculating, however, and someday his mind is capable and strong in numbers. His very head has changed its shape. His face looks different. He did not ask to change the shape of his head. He did not expect it would happen so, but it did. So you, by repeating the 12 propositions of life science, will change your entire life conditions. You must consciously think what is true. This is what Moses called the waters of being. You will soon be what is true in all your looks and actions. These are your fixed estates. These are your mechanical tablets, your records. If you can set the red blood coloring your face by a thought, you can also straighten your crooked bones by your thought. When you rise into the highest thoughts you can write or think or speak, you see your body as a white glory of beauty, as transfigured by your thoughts, as Jesus was transfigured by his thoughts. Yet he was not really changed. Peter and John and James had been saying the words he had told them, and suddenly their eyes were opened to see him as he is. So your eyes will be opened. So your mind will perceive things in their reality. So your own body will show forth its hidden beauty, like unto the transfigured Jesus. John called this accomplishment of the mind the sardonyx stone of our temple of life. Every stage of this manner of reasoning has power to heal. From the ways of the first scientists in their earnestness to the ways of the new Christian truth healers with their determination, there is healing power in truth, whether you ask to be healed or not. There is power, and there is beautiful prosperity in the truth, whether you ask for them or not. Keep one early morning every week for the 5th word of the truth of life. Let us close our lesson with it. You will find your thoughts going out to their works with obedient kindness if you keep this saying faithfully. As divine mind, which I am, I can preach the gospel, I can heal the sick, I can cast out demons, I can raise the dead. I work the works of God who works through me to will and to do that which ought to be done by me, according to the doctrine of Jesus Christ. The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. End of chapter 5. And in synopsis of chapter 5, we have the sardonyx stone, which is symbolic of the word of faith. And so this whole chapter is telling us that if we keep on repeating the words of truth, writing them, thinking them, speaking them, contemplating them, meditating with them, we are going to automatically have all of our conditions healed. We don't have to specifically treat for prosperity. We don't have to specifically treat for health. Things are just going to come into perfect alignment and perfect harmony if we will take the time to bring our mind into perfect alignment with the truth. And then we don't even have to mess with conditions. The conditions will arrange themselves, because remember, conditions are nothing but an effect. And the cause is your mind and your thinking. And more importantly, what you believe. Remember, Jesus said, it is done unto you as you believe. So doesn't it make sense then to make it your number one priority to align your mind with the word of truth that will bring about all good in your life? What else could be of any more importance than that? If you're trying to change your life by changing your conditions, you're only working in an effect. And there won't be any lasting change unless you change the cause, which is your mind. Because mind is the only cause of everything. So it's so important to establish yourself in the principles of truth, which goes back to chapter 1, the statement of being. There is good for me. My good is my God. My good is my love. My good is my intelligence. All of those things. You name all the things that are good. Then you deny everything that's not true. There is no sin, sickness, or death. There is no evil. There's nothing to hate, etc. And you go on to the 3rd chapter and you do the affirmations. And then you really have power in your affirmations. Then you've already weeded out the weeds out of your soil by doing your denials. Then you're planting your seeds. In the 3rd chapter, you're planting your new affirmations of truth. Then in the 4th chapter, you make the Holy Covenant, and you hand all the burden over to God, and you allow yourself to be totally provided for in every way by the Spirit. And then in the 5th chapter, all your conditions now are going to start working themselves out. See, you have to release the sense of burden that you have to do everything. And if you just make it your only goal is to learn the truth and embody the truth, everything else will work out. That's why it's said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you. If you seek anything else, you're only getting a partial good. If you're seeking after your prosperity, that's great, but what about joy and health and love and beauty and all those other things? If you seek God, then since God's the highest, the best, all-inclusive, infinite everything, if you just seek God, then you're going to have everything you could possibly want in this lifetime. So if we're prioritizing, we have to put God first, and that's the truth, the statements of truth, putting them into our mind until we really embody them. So this book is really heating up, and I'm excited to get into chapter 6 next.